Hello dreamers, Eugene the author here, and welcome for the third time to Elden Ring. I'm going to give a little bit of background while I put this together here. This is my third time attempting to do an Elden Ring series for the channel. And you may be asking yourselves, what's going on with that? So the general idea is that I have tried to do an Elden Ring series 3 times now for the channel. And the first time I stopped doing the series because it performed horribly. The second time I was trying to play through the DLC, and then I had a death in the family that completely derailed everything for me. This is my third time attempting to do an Elden Ring series for the channel. And just real quick, I'm going to go with Confessor because I want to roll into Flame Lightning for my Flame and Lightning incantations for my character. And Confessor gives a great amount of strength and faith to your character. I'm going to start with the Cracked Pot because I am not very good at fighting the Godskins, and sleep makes those fights way easier. And apologies if my voice is a little wonky. I blew my voice doing some recording for the other channel.
Weak man! Look how your dark arts have aged you, sorcerer! Look what all I've lost for your ambition! Now! The harvest grows! Our power shall we have!
But Elden Ring is, bar none, one of my favorite games of all time. And it's, I think, fair to say it's my favorite modern game of all time as well. Let me make sure that okay. And so it's a little sad that I don't have a full playthrough of this game on the channel. Now, I don't think that this is going to perform great, honestly, and that's fine. That's why I'm going to be uploading the Elden Ring videos on off days for the channel. And the main series is going to be Clock Tower, the Clock Tower remake, with one-off episodes for various other indie games that just look interesting to me. And I've got a pretty neat project that, depending on the upload cycle, may have already come up on the channel. So, I don't know that this is going to perform very well, and it's fine if it doesn't. It's just, this is one of my favorite games, and I thought it would be cool to have it on the channel. So, the Grafted Scion, I can beat, but I've never beaten the Grafted Scion with anything but the Samurai. So I don't think I'm going to do this fight. I think I'm a pretty good Elden Ring player, but I'm not like, league level or anything. By no means am I, the greatest player of all time. But I'm pretty good. I mean, a lot of the fights, too, just really come down to patience and timing. And I figure while we do this, too, maybe we'll do some lore callouts. So, like, one bit of lore about the Grafted Scion is, if you look, you can see some rather... Oh, that was a bad... I should have backed off a little bit more. If you look at the Grafted Scion's character model, you can see the sizing of some of the parts that are attached to it indicate that some of the... Oh, maybe I shouldn't be skipping the cutscenes. I just assume that, like, everyone's already seen all of it by now. I won't skip the cutscenes going forward. My bad. I'm kind of tempted to restart for that, but I mean, yeah. But anyways, the implication of the Grafted Scion is that some of our tiny adults ended up being a part of that creature, sadly. The reason why I'm bothering with the tutorial cave is I thought it would be a little bit more interesting if we did a Fight the World playthrough. So I'm going to region lock myself, which means that I can't leave where I'm currently at until I beat every boss in that region. And I believe for most region lock playthroughs they considered Weeping Peninsula to be a part of Limgrave. I got made fun of a little bit, playfully, for my pronunciation of some of the names. In my lore videos, I was calling Marika, I think. And I was pronouncing Mesmer as Mesmir, I think. English is technically my first language, but I studied a few different languages at the same time when I was younger, so between that and my accent that comes out more when I'm tired, there's just certain pronunciations that are stuck in my head. But this will get us about 400 experience points to start with, which is, you know, nice little boost. Assuming I don't completely... Oh, I'm already here. I do not remember crossing the bridge. Assuming I don't, you know, completely hose myself fighting the... I don't remember her name. The Tree Sentinel. The other thing with the Grafted Scion is you can tell from the regalia that it wears the implication that the Grafted Scion is hewn from parts of the nobles. It's got like a nobility circlet as well. So that's interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, this is one of my absolute favorite games. I have over 1,600 hours logged into Elden Ring. The reason being is that Elden Ring became my go-to de-stress game. And so I had a lot going on, I still do. And for a while, I would just sit back and just play Elden Ring for just, you know, whenever I had some free time. And even though this is like an incredibly stressful game to play, it actually calmed me down. The last game that was my big de-stress game, or I guess I should say my first big de-stress game, was Mass Effect 2. It's one of my favorite games also, and I've beaten Mass Effect 2 I don't know how many times. And then it became Elden Ring became my go-to. And then, oh, right, hold on. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to do this. Because the idea is that we want to keep track of how many bosses we're dealing with in each region. But yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, Elden Ring always stutters on my desktop. On my Steam Deck, it never stutters, but on my desktop, it always stutters. But yeah, it was Mass Effect 2, then it was Elden Ring, and then for a while, I was super into... I just realized it looks like I'm looking the opposite direction of you guys. Hold on. For a while... flip horizontal? That's not what I wanted to flip. Let's flip the camera, not the game. Transform, flip horizontal, okay. Yeah, because now it looks like I'm actually looking at you. But I digress. What was I saying? Stardew Valley, I played a lot of Stardew Valley. Is a de-stress game. So, okay. This is not in any way, shape, or form a humble brag. But I have come to realize that the Tree Sentinel, as long as, for me anyways, as long as I have square off, is not a very hard fight. I don't think I've ever first tried the Tree Sentinel, but generally I can like third try this fight. Oh, I already messed up. That's fine. You can actually get 2 square offs at the beginning of the fight. Oh crap. Okay. So the other thing is that my other 2 attempts at doing an Elden Ring series, I don't think I made a very good showing. So watching me die a lot is probably amusing to a point, but also I imagine loses its luster fairly quickly. So unless there's just like a hilarious death that happens, I'm going to try to kind of go, you know, without having you stuck watching me die a bunch of times. I do think it'd be funny to have a kill counter or a death counter though, and just see like how many times I die trying to beat this game. Okay, so that didn't go ideally, but I still got it off. So normally she will just let you get in 2 square offs before She rides away. Oh, poop. That's not ideal. Okay. So then we roll into this. So that's the move that I always have a hard time with. You want to, like, roll into a lot of the attacks in Elden Ring, which is contrary to what a lot of your instincts would be, right? Your instinct would be to roll away from attacks, but you actually want to roll, oh crap, into a lot of attacks in Elden Ring. Because when you roll away from a lot of attacks, it actually puts you in a position to take the hit, as opposed to, like, it puts you in the attack frames. So a lot of times you actually want to dodge into the attacks that are coming your way, even though it feels like that flies in the face of conventional wisdom. Oh, come on. Okay, so two deaths. Yeah, okay, I got greedy on that. 1, 2, charge. Get around her. 1, 2, charge. Oh, get greedy. 2, charge. 1, 2, charge. 1, 2. Did I just do that hitless? Oh my gosh. I've never done that hitless before. Let's go. Okay. I'm surprised. Let's go. That's awesome. So Golden Halberd is a weapon that I think tends to get discredited or discounted. Like, it has high stat requirements, but it's actually, like, its little Ash of War, which boosts your attack power, is actually pretty darn valuable. Oh, oops, hold on. Let's just mark this here. Okay. So we are going to just run around and sweep up some bosses. That's cool. I'm very proud of that. I don't think I've ever done that hitless before. And I will never be like a hitless League player, I don't think, because I really like the thrill of trading damage with enemies. Like, it's exhilarating to always be on the brink of death to me. Who's texting me? It's exhilarating to always be on the brink of death for me, so I have a very aggressive playstyle. Even when I'm playing a sorcerer, I have a very aggressive playstyle. So when we go into this cavern here, the only item that I care about in this cave is the cracked pots that you can get down here. So for those that don't know, if you get the cracked pots and one of the cookbooks, you can actually craft sleeping pots. And sleep pots make the godskins incredibly easy to beat. And actually, fun fact, you can actually put the fire giant to sleep as well. I don't think it lasts for very long, but you know, it's neat that you can do it. Crap. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, let me get out of YouTuber mode and play like I actually have some gosh darn sense. Why don't I? It's funny. It's I used to kind of laugh when I would watch YouTubers like miss very obvious things in games, but YouTuber brain or streamer brain is very much a thing. Like, I remember watching a YouTuber's playthrough, I believe it was a Markiplier playthrough of Resident Evil 7, where he was like staring right at one of the backpacks to expand his inventory, and was like, "Where's the backpack?" And he never got that one. And I was like, "It's right in front of you. How did you miss it?" But it's very hard to divide your attention between playing and talking. I think I'm pretty good at playing and talking at the same time. But then, you know, I also randomly throw when I'm fighting Bofa, so... Okay, that... If any boss should have been hitless, it should have been Bofa. Yeah, okay, that sure is a thing that happened. Okay, so anyways, in terms of my weapons, I think... For the time being... Let's get a little dumb. Let's not go get the ability to spin these runes. Let's just go straight to the next dungeon. It's good to grab Roa fruits while you're in the field, because you can use those as part of a recipe to make gold pickle fowl feet. And if you really want to kind of optimize your playing, it's worth getting enough gold pickle fowl feet to pop one for major boss fights. Like, I've done a beat everything run before, and on that run I actually did grinding long enough to get enough materials for enough gold fowl feet to have one for every single boss in the base game and the DLC. I'm not going to do that this time. Kind of the cool thing about Elden Ring is, like, the DLC is built different, but for the most part, Elden Ring, if you're just playing naturally, is not really a game that you have to grind. Like, if you just play naturally and fight the bosses, like, your natural progression... Okay, I thought I heard something else. Your natural progression through the game will make you strong enough to play and just beat the whole game. Now, I don't love the way Shadow of the Erd Tree is set up, in so much as the ratio of... Okay. In so much as the ratio of the upgrade materials in that game, the Shadow Tree fragments and the ancestral spirits, because it's kind of done up in a way that, like, by having exactly the amount you need with no... Let me just let that go by again. By having exactly the amount that you need with no extras... Oh my god! That surprised me. By having exactly the amount you need with no extras, it does kind of put you in an awkward position where you kind of feel like you have to go get everything. I don't think there's a reason for me to go over there. Oh, yeah, it's just... I don't care about that. It's a grave glovewort to upgrade your spirit ashes. And while I am not against the use of spirit ashes, I don't generally use ones that use regular gloveworts, and I don't think that's a ghost glovewort. I think you throw knives. Yeah. You're gonna make me come to you. I actually don't think I even need to go over here, now that I think about it. I don't think I need to go over there. I think I just need to go over here. Like, I don't know, you reach a point with playing Elden Ring where you kind of realize that a lot of the trash mobs aren't really worth fighting. Like, it's nice to get the little boost to the runes, but a lot of the little random enemies that you encounter, they don't really count enough towards leveling up at a certain point. Oh, this fight. I hate the burial watchdogs. I'm not particularly good at these either, honestly. because I'm not a very patient player. And this is like very much a boss that punishes you not being patient. Case in point. So this is a boss that like I have absolutely thrown on this boss. I also I have a hard time like gauging out the timing for their attacks. But I also feel like Elden Ring is a game that simultaneously has a great community and a terrible community depending on just like luck of the draw with when you engage with it. Like I remember this is funny now. It actually made me stop playing Elden Ring for like a month. Maybe not that long. It made me stop playing Elden Ring for a while. So it's funny now, but at the time was not. But one example of how the Elden Ring community can be not so pleasant is that so I played through Shadow of the Erd Tree while my relative was in hospice. Like we reached a point, not to get like super dark, but we reached a point where the prognosis was it was just going to be what it was going to be. And during that time, so we sat up and we did prayer and watch, and so my nephew and I, we were like the overnight vanguard, and my sister and mom were the like daytime vanguard. And so essentially, like in my culture and in my religious belief system, like part of what we do when somebody is passing is we rally around them and we just spend time in prayer with them and just give them love. And somebody is always the vanguard during that time. And so we were doing the night watch and everyone else is asleep. You know, it's just my nephew and I up, and he's, you know, playing his game, I'm playing my game in between. And so, and this just, when you're going through something that emotional, you need something to kind of take the edge off, to kind of distract you from the experience as well. So I was playing Shadow of the Erd Tree during my kind of downtime, and I was obviously a little bit in a fog the whole time, but I was really surprised when I got to Mesmer, and it was, again, not a humble brag, just a statement of what my experience was. I felt like Mesmer was like a surprisingly easy boss fight. Like for as much as they hyped up, I'm not saying like I first tried him by any means. Like I went in and just kind of was messing around the first time I fought Mesmer, and I got him down pretty far. Like it's one of those where I kind of realized partway through, I was like, oh, I'm actually doing like way better than I thought I was doing. And I might have been able to get lucky and first tried him, but I didn't. I want to say I beat Mesmer on my second try, maybe my third try. But I was surprised because they really kind of... I knew that Mesmer wasn't going to be like the real end boss, right? Like, it had to be Mikola. There's no way that it wasn't going to be Mikola. But I was just very surprised that for somebody who was essentially, from the perspective of like not the heroes, he was kind of the hero of war. I expected him to be a significantly bigger challenge, especially because like my DLC experience, my first time through... Okay, I'm gonna let this play for anybody who hasn't seen this game before. And I'll be right back.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
Good lord, I forgot how slow she talks. Okay, we will watch the cutscenes. We will fast forward through the dialogue. I feel like there are enough people that have beaten this game already that, like, you don't need me to let these conversations play out. Alright, let's go see Randy. Yeah, so my experience with the DLC was I got absolutely curb stomped by the dude in the mausoleum. Hi, Randy. And, like, I lost that fight so many times, and then I played the DLC kind of out of order. And so I went and I fought... Okay, what weapon do we want to use? What's a good faith weapon? I like the Black Knife. Black Knife is actually like my favorite weapon in the game. Let's just get more vigor for now, I guess. Work our way towards the 20 vigor soft check. Okay. So, yeah, I did the DLC kind of out of order. And so I went and I fought Relana. I want to say Relana was like the second boss I fought in the DLC. And I am very much that beat my head against the wall kind of guy when I'm playing a game. Excuse me, I'm talking. And so Relana was just absolutely obliterating me. I think Relana was like probably 30 or 40 tries my first time. And so with as much trouble as Relana gave me, I was expecting Mesmer to be like on Relana's level, right? Like, this is the guy who subjugated an entire nation. So I just kind of assumed that it was going to be as hard of a fight as Relana was. So it surprised me, and my Shadow Tree level was not very high. I think I was like 11 or 12 when I fought Mesmer. And so it surprised me. And so I went and I went to an Elden Ring community forum online, and I made it clear from the beginning of the statement. Let me make sure I muted my mic during the cutscene. I made it clear at the top of my post that I'm not bragging, I'm not saying I'm all that. I was just like, was anyone else kind of disappointed by the Mesmer fight? Like, was anyone else kind of finding Mesmer a little bit anticlimactic? And oh my gosh, you would have thought that I had kicked their puppies. Like, I got dragged so hard. The very first person who came in there was just coming at me like, oh, you're just trying to humble brag. You just want to talk like you're all that. You just want to be, Mr. Cool Guy. You're just better than... I mean, obviously, I'm using very nice language for what was actually said to me. But, oh my gosh. I mean, you would have thought that I walked into their house and kicked their dog. I just got dragged by almost literally everybody on that forum. Bear in mind, I came to communicate with my community of Souls players while one of the most important people in my life was passing. And instead of like just having a fun conversation with some fellow gamers, I got dragged. And so I couldn't even really look at Elden Ring for a while after that. And I obviously got back into the saddle. I'm a big proponent of, like, don't let other people steal your happiness. Somebody who the only thing that they can think of to do is just to be a mean person on the internet, like just to be mean to people in general, is probably somebody who's not very happy in life anyways. So it was, it was difficult. But I was like, I'm not gonna let some stranger being mean take my joy away. So I don't know. I just share that anecdote to say you will always encounter people who will not be the kindest to you. Just do your best not to let them get under your skin. It's not worth you being unhappy in life over somebody else being, you know, less than their best towards you. So I beat the game a bunch of times before I realized that you could summon Istvan for this fight. Like, I had no idea that was a thing. There's actually like a lot of NPC summons, and that's why I showed that off. Because I still see people, even as long as the game's been out, that are like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea that you could summon, for this fight or for that fight.